Welcome back to the show. We got a new U.S. Treasurer coming in, and guess what? It's not Janet Yellen at all. You're gonna love it. We got that and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro. Let's go.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. Boy, do I love the smell of crypto in the morning, ladies and gentlemen. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content here. Right now, we are looking at $3.52 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 1%. Look at this. Bitcoin, 98,800 plus right now. Ethereum, 3,400 plus. 132 billion plus market cap for USD Tether. We still don't know how the U.S. government truly feels about it. XRP is $1.55. We're up 10.7 on the 24. We're up 46.9% on the 7-day. Oh my goodness, USDC 38 billion plus market cap here. The range of price is going between 140 on the bottom and 161 on the top. We're currently sitting at 154. We'll keep an eye on it, and we better had, because things are moving, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look at this. You want to see how big they're moving? Digital Asset Investor says, hey, CNBC, Squawk Box, Joe Squawk, Andrew Sorkin, Becky Quick, everybody over there. Where are all the XRP segments? Throw your Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana talking points in the trash and spit some truth for once. XRP right here in the quarter is up 159.04%, and not a word out of them. And not a word out of them. Yeah, Vegas Crypto's got it right. Nothing but crickets from them. It's exactly right. And then here we have this. Shout out to Bitwise CEO Hunter Horsley here. Now, I'd love to play this whole thing because it's fantastic. But for the point of this conversation today, let's bring it in right here at 250. And look, first of all, this whole thing right here, Bitcoin, 21 million supply. If it gets this reserve, strategic reserve with the U.S., what other countries are going to dive into. And I just want to add, and I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. I decided to take exposure in this regardless of the cons that we understand about it, because BlackRock and Fidelity do. If they change their mind, I will too. But if I see a Bitcoin strategic reserve bill adopted by the United States, it will confirm for me personally that Bitcoin has always been a government psyop, and it will be used as a financial band-aid to help transition the financial system and all of us retail folks over into the new digital economy. That's my personal thought on the matter. But I want you to listen to this clip right here.
I believe it's north of 50%, maybe north of 60. In terms of who's selling, it could be a variety of different stories. There's a combination of retail investors who want to take some gains. And also there's a large segment of hedge fund traders who are running strategies and trading around volatility that are often supplying, sitting on the supply side, as well as, of course, the miners. So it's hard to put your finger on exactly who it is. But in general, the demand side has been so strong that it's pushed the price higher as it's outstripped the supply.
Wow, look at Coinbase now at 308. So its run also continues. Yeah. A lot of these. I mean, Coinbase is up. Could it have doubled in the past 2 weeks? It's just remarkable. I guess real quickly before we
now listen what he says here about IPO season coming.
Go on that, Hunter. Do you think they're going to be disintermediated by Bitcoin ETFs, or is Coinbase still where it's at?
Coinbase, yeah. I mean, to your point, Kelly, Coinbase has just moved incredibly since the election, and I think this reflects the characteristic of this new chapter, which is a world in which there's no longer a regulatory headwind, but the space is being embraced. And I think people view Coinbase's future much more optimistically. I think the story on Coinbase, which they've said in earnings calls, is that it's Amazon for crypto. And they've now built out a number of business lines servicing both on-chain activities and investment in the space. So I think there's a ton of opportunity ahead for Coinbase. And I think we're going to see a number of IPOs in the future, and people are going to realize that there are several large crypto businesses that have been sitting privately that'll come to the market as well.
That would be enjoyable. I hope.
Yes, I think he's got that spot on. And isn't that why I tell you about Link 2 and private equity? IPO season's coming, ladies and gentlemen. You don't get markets jumping off like this, and then the companies that have been down, had their head down, building and doing the things they need to do, they know when that window opens up, when that market starts to take off, they know that this is our opportunity to get out here and IPO and get the best result for them and their companies and shareholders. Watch out, ladies and gentlemen. Click the link below and check out the incredible opportunities for private equity on Link2. This is why I talk about it so often. The opportunities are absolutely remarkable in this. So click the link below and get started today. Eggrag Crypto says when it comes to XLM, you know it. XLM next target, 56 cents. And I say, bring it on, baby. I love XLM. You know we're holding the hell out of that. And this just in, SEC Commissioner Jamie Lizarraga here is to resign in January along with Gary Gensler. And good riddance. I don't even know you, Jamie, but you know what? Maybe you're leaving because you didn't like it. I don't know. I don't even know what the deal is. But I know one thing. We have a bad taste in our mouth when it comes to the SEC. So all the best to you. But you got to go. Now let's listen to Mark Udea, who's been a crypto advocate in the space, as Hester Peirce as well. Is he putting his hat in the running to become the next commissioner?
SEC Commissioner Mark Udea joins me now. Commissioner, Trump wants to make America the world's crypto capital. How will the next SEC chair make it happen?
Well, good morning, Stuart. One of the things that President Trump is absolutely right is the current administration's war on crypto needs to stop. There are a number of things that we can do with respect to crypto to help make America one of the global leaders in crypto. First off, from a regulatory perspective, we can provide the appropriate clarity. Some crypto is not even a security at all, but we need to make clear whether or not you fall within SEC jurisdiction or not. If you do, we need, again, a set of rules so those players in this space know what to do, whether it's making an offering, if you're a broker-dealer, how you handle those sorts of transactions, how you custody and safeguard those, what it means for asset managers. One of the other very important things we can do is to create safe harbors and regulatory sandboxes to allow that innovation to occur. And finally, we need to work with the Congress, the White House, and other federal regulatory agencies to make sure we have a cohesive and comprehensive approach to crypto.
Well, you seem to have a pretty firm grasp of where you want to take the SEC. Gensler steps down on January the 20th when Trump comes in. Would you want the job? Would you take it?
Well, that's a decision for the president to make. What I can tell you is that whoever steps in that job, there is a lot of work that needs to be done to address some of the regulatory excesses, not only at the SEC, but at other administrative agencies. There are a lot of new rules and regulations that were rolled out. There are a lot of unintended consequences, many of which will need to be addressed.
You sound like you're auditioning for the job because you're coming out with all the things that Trump wants to see, right? Are you auditioning? Are you throwing your hat in the ring?
Well, I'm just going back to my experience in the last transition we had with President Trump. I was fortunate to be on our executive staff as a senior advisor to acting Chairman Michael Pivovar, who was named by President Trump to take over the agency after the Obama administration. And there are so many things, like the situation was back then, that need to be addressed. Back then, it was many of the regulatory overreaches that resulted from implementation of the Dodd-Frank Act.
Mark, I think your hat is firmly in the ring as of right now. Mark?
No doubt about it. Hey, look, I mean, this guy could get it done. I mean, this is one of the few seats left that we really need to see to understand the true picture of crypto. But wait till you see what we're putting together here for you in the recent appointment to U.S. Treasury. You're going to love it. Mark Fagel, former SEC official here, says if the appeal is dismissed for the Ripple case against the SEC here, or the SEC against the Ripple case, if the appeal is dismissed, which would be historically unusual but possible, he says, it won't happen until the new SEC chair is appointed and confirmed, which leaves plenty of time for bogus posts about weekly meetings and those Sunshine Act meetings, and all sorts of craziness leading up to the January 15th brief filing. So There you have that. And Luke Thomas says, so according to this ex-securities lawyer, the appeal could be dismissed likely when the new SEC chair comes in on board on January 20th. Another reason why Gary wants to suppress the XRP pump as much as he can over the next 2 months. What a douchebag. Absolutely well said, Luke. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nailed it. Now, we know the dollar's in trouble. We know the real USD is coming. We know that the appointments being made to things like the Commerce Department or the U.S. Treasury have been very key appointments. I'm getting ready to reveal them to you now. But let's understand that there are about, 3 major economic pillars here that Trump is going to focus on. One is crypto, believe it or not, right? I think the other one is government spending and cutting government spending and then cutting taxes. I think that's the plan. So this is huge for us. But look at this right here. Judy Shelton, who said things could be done in a cryptocurrency kind of way, if you remember, proposing a 50-year treasury bond convertible into gold issue at initiative of President Trump on July 4th, 2026 to mark the anniversary of the country. Take a listen.
You, of course, recently made huge headlines and created huge waves in the financial media. In fact, some are saying it was a radical solution to solve inflation. Tell the audience what this solution is.
Well, I like the word radical. It comes from the Latin going to the root. And I think the root of the problem is we haven't had sound finances and sound money from our government. And what I'm proposing is that President Trump authorized the U.S. Treasury to issue a 50-year bond starting on July 4th, 2026. That's going to be a big day for our nation, maturing on July 4th, 2076, which will be the 300th anniversary of our founding. And that bond should be convertible into gold at the option of the bond holder. And I think that would be a way, well, first off, we would use our 261 million ounces as collateral for that bond. They've been sitting there untouched for 53 years. We carry them on the books at 11 billion. There's already a windfall profit of 700 billion if you mark them to market. Let's capture that profit, but let's use this gold convertible US dollar instrument as a way to serve as a barometer that we are going to make progress on fiscal sustainability and monetary soundness. We're going to restore the monetary integrity of our currency.
Judy?
There you have it right there. This is all about restoring the monetary integrity to our currency. Hang with me here, folks. Hang with me. Now listen to here. This is Speaker Donna Rydell, adjunct professor of blockchain and digital assets, talking about U.S. dollars and stablecoins. Listen to this.
The stablecoins that are backed by U.S. treasuries are helping the government be able to keep the dollar as an important reserve globally.
Bingo.
Because people are using all over the world these stable coins backed by U.S. treasuries, I believe, and the figure may have changed, but it's at least in the top 10 holders, the stablecoin aggregated companies of U.S. treasuries, which makes them very important for promoting the dollar around the world against what is now, let's say, central bank digital currencies of China, and I've heard that China, Russia, and Brazil might want to do one together, where they're not going to have privacy, and they're going to be able to track the movements of money that goes throughout the system, the global system. And that, I think, is something that the U.S. government should be very concerned. I know they are very concerned about, but helping to create an environment in which we know the regulatory certainty. We can grow this in a way that is helpful for the U.S. government, helpful for the economy, and globally secures the position of ourselves in ways that the government sees and the individual sees as something that is in our future interests is really important.
Yeah, and that's Dante Disparte from USDC in Circle sitting next to her. And then it was crooked-ass Joseph Lubin sitting on stage on the other side. But nonetheless, I want you to listen because she's saying this, and I was on stage with the Honorable Cristian Carlo, shout out to you, who could be he's in the front running right now for the next crypto czar role, which will be department directly in the White House. Think of it for a moment and listen to this conversation that we had on stage at XRP Las Vegas 2024. And I don't mind telling you, watch out early next week for the tickets to go on sale for XRP Las Vegas 25. And it's going to be fire. So at this point, if we look at, if we just look at the things that are happening, just the inflation, the money printing, we all in this room know that it's unsustainable. And we don't get an email when it hits that wall. There's a line in the sand when it comes to money. And this is so funny because as involved as the construct of the financial system is, there's an imaginary line in the sand called confidence. And once it's lost,
absolutely,
that piece of paper isn't worth anything.
That's right.
And what I see coming, and I want you to speak to this from just from the Digital Dollar Project. What I'm seeing is this unavoidable moment in the front of us, and there has to be someone at some point has to come forward and allow these new use cases to be happening, like stablecoins, private issuers, because I see like this hyperinflation moment. Now, I'm not trying to be an alarmist. I don't know whether it slides greatly or what's that scale look like. I can't tell you, but everybody knows that it's a high probability of happening. We just don't know how bad it gets, right? But if you introduce this ability for these new issuers to have a stable coin, then they are the ones that soak up like a sponge or a bulkhead that catch these hyperinflated dollars that are coming back home. Could you speak to that?
Yeah, well, I'm glad you put your finger on it. I think the biggest threat to the American way of life is government money printing.
Yeah.
Everyone here,
well said.
If you reach in your pocket and you have dollars there, 1 out of every 4 of those dollars was printed in the last 3 years. That means that if you had $100 3 years ago, it's worth 75 today. It's simply unsustainable. It's destroying the very fabric. And if
it really is. And I got to stop it right there so we can keep moving. So you see the case we're making here, right? She made the case. I made the case, and now let's look at what's going on here. The real USD, 10.5 million here, has been minted at the real USD Treasury. Shout out to Vet and Ripple Stablecoin Tracker for that information. It's all beta, by the way, but nonetheless, you can see it's being tested very heavily, ladies and gentlemen. This is another reminder here that it's being tested here. I just wanted to show the actual screenshot itself so you can see it delivered right there. It's all in beta, but nonetheless, things are preparing very quickly here. Now, we also know Howard Lutnick has been selected from the transition team to serve as Secretary of Commerce. Howard Lutnick says, I'm a fan of Bitcoin. Do I owe Bitcoin? Of course I do. Listen to this very quickly.
So let me talk Bitcoin for a little bit. I want to be clear. I am a fan of Bitcoin. Of course, do I own Bitcoin? Of course I do.
Now, this is a guy who's just been appointed Secretary of Commerce. And remember, Secretary of Commerce is going to be a very big role because it seems President Trump is going to go back to tariffs like President McKinley did back in the day and working to eliminate tax on the citizens themselves. So think of it for a moment. We're getting ready to move into a new generation here, a new world, a new era for this country. And remember Rosie Rios, the 43rd treasurer, right? She went onto the board of Ripple and is still at the board of Ripple. Now with what appears to be an imminent launch of the real USD, and shout out to Anders, consider this a past addition to Ripple's board of directors. Rosie Rios, back in May 21, in the middle of the Ripple lawsuit with the SEC, Rosie Rios joined Ripple's board of directors. Yeah. She wasn't scared. Now this caused more than a few headlines because of the fact she's the former 43rd Treasurer of the United States that served under the Obama administration. Her signature's on the majority of U.S. dollars circulating in the economy today. Why would she join Ripple in the middle of the lawsuit with the U.S. government? The fact that Ripple is now launching their own USD stablecoin, things that make you go home? Yeah, absolutely right. This is remarkable to me. All signs are pointing to me, as I've understood this from back in the day, very closely to where we're going here. And it is simply this. XRP is the asset that is going to represent multiple different assets on the ledger, and you could keep reserves of that on the ledger, showing the world that they're there. And you could have oil, gold, silver, platinum, palladium, real estate, anything else you want to value tokenized, held in a reserve on ledger, and that could underpin the dollar. And you could tell Saudi Arabia, I don't care what you do with the petrodollar anymore, but you'd be wise to use it, because once they underpin the US dollar with XRP, it'll be the strongest it's ever been in human history, and it'll be stronger than any currency floating around the world in human history as well. Write that down. I believe that's exactly where we're going. And I'm happy to be wrong about it, but I don't think that I am. Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent is the perfect pick, says real Donald Trump as he picks him. Brad Garlinghouse thinks so too. We'll get to it in a second here. Former Trump advisor, look at this, Chief Executive Officer and Chief Investment Officer for Key Square Capital Management, former Chief Investment Officer of Soros Fund Management, trustee of Rockefeller University, member of the Council on Foreign Relations, taught economic history at Yale University, bachelor's degree from Yale, and advised Trump to pursue a 3-3-3 strategy. Now listen to him and what he thinks about crypto. And while you're listening to him, I want you to think about Janet Yellen sitting right beside him, the current U.S. Treasurer right now.
Crypto's about freedom. Crypto's about freedom. Crypto's about freedom. Crypto's about freedom.
You're damn right it is, but that ain't all I got for you. Hold on, because I got the one you need to see right here. Here we go. Right here.
I've been excited about the president's embrace of crypto, and I think it fits very well with the Republican Party, the ethos of crypto's about freedom. And the crypto economy is here to stay. The Democrats are running from it because they're trying to wash off the stench of Sam Bankman-Fried and his family's donations to the Democratic Party. So they're willing to take down a whole industry because of bad behavior on their part, bad behavior one actor. And I think that everything's on the table with Bitcoin. And to me, one of the most exciting things about Bitcoin is for a generation of investors who maybe post the great financial crisis have been looking for investment opportunities, or maybe they'd soured on markets. Crypto is bringing in young people. It's bringing in the people who haven't participated in markets, and having a market culture in the U.S. and people believing that markets work for them is a centerpiece of capitalism.
There you have it.
I've been excited about...
Think of it. This is the next U.S. Treasurer. Janet Yellen asked about systemic risk or cryptocurrency. Well, I haven't taken a look at that yet. I need to look further and then get back to you. We're getting ready to go into the stratosphere with this. This is getting ready to get very good, ladies and gentlemen. I really do think so. I can tell you this. And let's take a look at this. So obviously there's the bullet points, and crypto is about freedom. That's your U.S. Treasurer. You're getting ready to be in the seat there. So we got Howard Lutnick from the Department of Commerce. That's going to be massive because the tariffs are going to be a huge leverage point, and Department of Commerce is going to become very, very popular very quickly with that new approach. And the U.S. Treasurer telling you crypto is about freedom. They're not looking to step on this thing at all. So whoever's going to be the SEC chair has got to fall in line with this entire selection process so far. It's looking nothing but good for us, ladies and gentlemen. And so is this. Egg Rag Crypto, shout out to you, the genuine wake-up line, and you wonder why I'm so bullish. Look at this. Targets he's highlighting here. Immediate target, $1.30, $1.50. Guess what? He nailed it. Midterm target now, $5.50 and $7.50. What I love about this, midterm target. Oh, do tell. He says, I strongly urge you to revisit my post here from May 18th, 2024. This is what I've told you. We've been waiting for the headwinds to change. We've been waiting to get the signal that we're going to get legislation in this country. And look at what's happened. Everyone's tried to convince us it's about something else. It is not about something else. And what is about to happen is going to benefit everyone, from builders and innovators to the top industry leaders in this space to retail. You watch it. It's happening already. He says right here, the genuine wake-up line is about to play a massive role in the next pump. Check it out. He says right now we've got a yellow triangle formation connecting the highs from 2021. The top arm of this triangle is none other than the genuine wake-up line, as you can see right here, right? He says right now, XRP, he says here, many moons ago, I anticipated the breakout to surge to 150 within the white triangle, which it did, and 750 within the yellow triangle. Oh boy, loving this. He says right now, XRP is smashing through the genuine wake-up line. What we need next is unwavering conviction. We must close above it for at least 3 days. After that, we will see a retest before the full upward surge. The $7.50 target is just wave 1, part of a bigger macro wave 3. Hint, wave 3 brings us to 2 digits. Come on in. Yeah, 2 digits, ladies and gentlemen. I say you bring it, baby. I'm here for it, and I know you are too. This is getting exciting, and just wait till we see what this market looks like and what's happening to XRP when legislation is passed. Imagine that. And don't forget, they're floating the idea that they may put no capital gains on cryptocurrency. And this may be what the result of that could be. Harmonic says XRP will flip BTC this market cycle, and there's nothing you can do about it. Whoa! Not financial advice from me or anyone else. We're going into the Freedom Zone, and I hope you join us today. We're going to find out about this Ukraine conflict, and it may come to an end sooner than people think, but you're going to hear some real insights about it that you need to know. We're going into the Freedom Zone. Go to digitalperspectives.com. Click on the Freedom Zone for next to nothing. A great way to support the channel, and we're super grateful for everyone who does. We're going in right now. Come on in. All right.